Hey everybody, Jason here. I am 53 years old. I have prostate cancer that's metastasized to my spine, and on this channel we talk about it. I've been needing to do this video for a couple of days now. Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday evening, 6:30, and on Monday I had my follow-up with my doctor, with my medical oncologist. In another video I kept saying radiation oncologist. With my medical oncologist, and I got my fifth Lupron shot. I wanted to go over the results. My PSA still undetectable. So this is a month shy of a year that I've been on treatment, and I am undetectable. That is good news. Hopefully it just stays that way forever and ever and ever. But you never know. And one of the things they do is right before you get your shot, they draw some labs. And so they do a CBC with differential, and they do another one. I've got the CBC with differential pulled up right now. So there were a couple of things I was initially worried about. My doctor said, don't worry about it. These are normal. These are expected for your treatment, for where you're at on treatment, almost a year into it. The first item on my CBC is, and a CBC is a blood. It's a blood lab. So it's a bunch of blood info, red blood cells, white blood cells, different types of white blood cells. And so the first one that was low was my white blood cell count. The normal range is 3.4 to 10.8, and mine is at 2.7, so it flagged as low. If I pull up my trends, looking at October of 2023, it was at 3.7, so the bottom of the range. And then February of this year, 3.7, went up to 4.1, then down to 391, then 331, then 27. So it went lower than it's been. I was holding stable right at the low end of the range, and it's a little lower. But I also had an infection the week before the week going into the labs. So does that affect it? Maybe. Yeah. And then let me try to go back here. How do I go? There it is. Test result details. And then my red blood cell was normal. It was at the low end of the range, but normal. My hemoglobin low but normal. My HCT, hemocrit was low but normal. My MCV was right in the middle. My MCH was near the high end of the band, and my MCHC was out of range high. So let's see what MCHC is. The corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. So what they do is they take your hemoglobin and divide it by your hemocrit. So it's the average concentration of hemoglobin in a volume of red blood cells. So it's a high MCHC can be associated with a hereditary issue or other conditions leading to denser red blood cells. So something about me that I haven't talked about is like 1 out of 4 Europeans had this condition called hemochromatosis. And what that means is my body stores iron. It doesn't give up iron. So I tend to get high red blood cell counts. I tend to get high iron counts, and it builds up. And there's no cure. There's treatment, and the only treatment is to give blood. So it's a bleed and feed. You bleed out. You let loose a bunch of blood that has a lot of iron in it, and your body then replaces that iron, that released blood, with fresh blood that doesn't have iron in it yet. So I used to give blood quite regularly, but with cancer, I don't. So my ferritin saturation levels, my iron concentrations are going up. And eventually we're going to have to deal with those. And the way that we'll deal with those is a phlebotomy. So when they are worried about those levels, and 2 visits ago we did get them checked, then they're going to order a phlebotomy. And which is just draining blood. they'll just drain some blood from me. So that's the MCHC. Yeah. And then going through all my other things were normal on my CBC except for, where did it go? Absolute lymphocytes. So I had to look up what lymphocytes were. Absolute lymphocytes refer to the total number of lymphocytes present in a given volume of blood. Okay, that makes sense. But what is a lymphocyte? Lymphocytes are a type of white blood cell that plays a crucial role in the immune system, particularly in responding to infections and foreign substances. So something we all know, if we're on this treatment, we are more susceptible to infections. We are more susceptible to getting sick. We're more susceptible to, we have to be careful about cuts and falls. Going into the pools, like I talked about in that other video, going to pools or taking long baths, because you get an infection in your bladder and then you're peeing blood for a week. But that my absolute lymphocyte, which is the type of white blood cell that helps with your immune system, particularly in responding to infections, is low. And that's expected. So if you go down and you look at what can cause it, low lymphocyte count can be associated with conditions such as autoimmune diseases or the effects of certain medications like corticosteroids or chemotherapy. Though I'm not doing chemotherapy, but I do take corticosteroids. Did I bring them over with me? I didn't. I left them on the counter. I take 5 milligram prednisone twice a day, so 10 milligrams a day. And that drives my absolute lymphocyte count down. The prednisone is what makes us more susceptible to infections. But you have to take the prednisone. Not taking the prednisone can cause our treatment to be life-threatening. The Zytiga or similar, whatever you're on, in the Lupron shots, but specifically the Zytiga, can be life-threatening if you're not taking the prednisone. The prednisone counterbats, that's an old word, counteracts it helps fill in the gap on some of the side effects caused by the Zytiga that can seriously harm us. So we have to take the prednisone. All right, let me go back to my test results. Comprehensive metabolic panel. So my glucose was a little high. The range is 70 to 99, and mine was at 105. My doctor, my medical oncologist, she said, I'm not worried about it. She says, that's fine. With the prednisone, which makes us hungrier, we tend to eat more, and it can put our blood sugar high. Now, I shared with her that I recently traveled for work, and I ate like crap that whole time. And so I was eating carbs, and that probably drove my blood sugar levels high, because those will stay for several days. My BUN, my bun, was good. My creatinine, EGFR, bun, sodium, all these. My potassium's good. Potassium's right smack in the middle. My chloride range is good. Carbon dioxide was a little high, right at the top of the band, 29. So I don't know what that means. But everything else on the only out of range item on my comprehensive metabolic panel was my glucose at 105. And then go back and look at my PSA. I shared a video of my PSA on a short video. It's less than 0.1, so it's still undetectable. It's been undetectable since, let's see, the lowest one I had that was still detectable was September 13th of 2023, and it was 0.8. So, yay! August 21st. So, on July 28th of last year, before I started treatment, the highest mine got was 10 nanograms per milliliter. Well, it was higher than that by the time I got treatment, because it was on a very steep upward slope. But as soon as I started treatment, it started coming down. I started treatment. I started the Zytiga pills on August 11th, and I got my first Lupron shot on August 21st. So just from the Zytiga pills, my PSA had dropped from above 10 down to 4.1 on August 21st. And then the next one I got was September 13th, the next PSA check I got, because we were doing them 1 month for several months, was 0.8. Yeah, heck yeah. And then every one after that, October and November were both less than 0.1, and the February, March, April, and July were all less than 0.1 nanograms per milliliter. So my PSA is doing great, but I wanted to walk through the results. I think I have self-troubleshot that restless leg I was feeling, that uncomfortableness. I think it was spice. I vaguely remember reading somewhere, looking at either Lupron or Zytiga, that we're supposed to avoid spice. And so I had eaten some spicy food several days in a row and was dealing with days and days and days of that achy leg, uncomfortableness, restless leg. And then, earlier this week, when I was going to the doctor and was going to talk to her about it, thinking about things I wanted to talk about, I remembered, oh yeah, I remember reading something about that. And I haven't looked it up yet, but I think we're supposed to avoid spice. I'll follow up on that and report back on another video. I'm hungry all the time, but that's expected. The prednisone, once again, makes us hungry. So diet, eating healthy and exercising. Exercising is the biggest way to help stave off those hunger pangs. I always used to say pains, but they're pangs. I still sound like I'm saying the same thing. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's what I got. That was the update. That was my lab results. That was my medical visit. Nothing of concern right now. She said the peeing blood. Oh, the peeing blood. Yeah. So I told her about that I suspected an infection, that I was peeing blood, the whole pool thing, and she said our bladders after radiation will take not just months, but like half a year, 2 years to heal. And and even if they're healed, they're always sensitive to infections, and that tissue in there is very, very sensitive. So it's likely that it became irritated, bled a little bit, and then I peed out the blood, peed out the clot, and from where it was irritated from the infection. And other than that, not to worry too much about it. So somebody, I forget who, had commented on a video saying, hey, just wear a condom when you go in the pool. Might as well have some use for them, right? So I'll try that out, because I don't want water to get up in there. I don't want to go through that again. Having infected bladder is uncomfortable, and peeing the blood makes you worried, right? So is that everything? Peeing the blood, uncomfortable legs, lab results, PSA. Nothing at this time. We're not doing anything about the hunger. I'm just dealing with it, trying to eat better, trying to exercise. I'm getting out and walking a little more at work. I'm not like getting out of the house and going for evening walks yet. I'm not there. My back. In fact, that's what it was. Yeah. Bonus tip. My original radiation oncologist's book, which I've got here because I read it sometimes, Empowered Against Cancer. This book is fantastic. And in here, he has tips for how to prepare for side effects, what supplements to consider, working with weights, cancer-related fatigue, bone loss action plan. So something he says you can do to combat the bone loss is, when you're on this treatment, is vibration. He says standing on a vibrating plate for a period of time strengthens your bones against bone loss. It triggers your bones to grow stronger. Another thing, so what I've done is I've got this reclining chair that vibrates. It's got this vibration mode. It's kind of a massage. It's not really a massage chair. It's like if you ordered a massage chair from Temu. I don't know if you can't hear it. I'm talking using my ear thing, but it just vibrates. And so I'm hoping that stimulates bone growth and strengthens my bones against more bone loss. But the other thing that can help is lifting weights, so resistance training of some kind. Anyway, okay, that's it. I'm going to quit doing the add-ons. That's what I wanted to come on and say. I wanted to share that information with you, share my results. It's turned into a longer video than I wanted. My apologies for that. But yeah, tell me how you're doing. Comment in the comments. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. All right. Love you all.